See, I don't think about the economical status of the
Yeah,
state either,
dude.
you know?
You gotta think about the GDP and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like, you can't just be going in thinking a gallon of milk's $2. It's
Yeah.
5 over there.
I wonder then, would it make more sense then to be like a homeless person in like Kansas or something?
All right. Episode 102 of the Fair Enough podcast. Bob in Detroit, Michael in Chicago today. No Jack. We are playing hooky from work. This is the middle of the day, basically, on Tuesday. Derek Jeter,
Yeah, I mean, he's the one. I mean,
the captain.
yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan's pretty good.
Oh yeah, Matt Ryan was 2. We got Yuri Fisher. Shout out to I got my Wings gear on today because we're switching gears here. Yuri Fisher was number 2 for the Wings. Died on the
Was he?
bench, came back to life.
Oh,
You
Doug
remember that at
Fertitz is
all?
number 2. No, I don't.
No. He
No.
was one of the first guys that like had a scary on ice incident, but he was on the bench and he like went into cardiac arrest on the bench.
He like passed out on the bench essentially. I
Yeah,
think I do kind of remember that.
yeah. It was wild.
Yeah.
I have like a vivid memory of watching that in my living room with my dad and being like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because like you don't see shit like that ever.
No, it's scary
Yep. But yeah, shout out to Derek Jeter,
for sure.
Michigan
That's a
guy.
stud.
Great news. We're gonna get into we got AFC, NFC championship stuff we'll talk about today. Mike's got some TikTok stuff. If we have time at the end, I kind of want to talk about a couple of things that I've been watching as of late. But to jump right in, going off the back of last week's episode, the under 5'10" pants have come in.
Have they?
They are here. I am wearing them right now.
How do you feel?
They are fantastic. They are everything that I hoped that they would be. It's insane, dude. I have a pair of jeans on that stop at the top of my foot with no fucking bunched upness.
It's awesome. And they're comfy and shit. Like they're nice.
Dude, like super stretchy. And sometimes that worries me because the stretchy material can look kind of janky sometimes. But these look like nice jeans. And they fit like nice jeans. And they feel like nice jeans. So I'm psyched to get every color.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. How long did it take to get there?
What day did we record last week? Wednesday.
Yeah.
So a week, clean 7 days. I think I ordered them on Tuesday to Tuesday.
And you just got them today?
Got them today.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand up. Can you see them? Any way I could get a quick look or no?
Yeah, you might be able to get a quick look. Hold on. I'm gonna have to bend the camera down.
This is for all the YouTube people today.
Oh, I'll do a whole turn the thing around.
He's gonna model for us. It's tough to see. Okay. All right. I love that. Not for everyone that's just listening, Bob just did a quick little full turnaround modeling of the pants that he had gotten. Tough
Not
to
bad
see the
though,
actual,
right?
No, tough to see the actual like color of it. I mean, obviously they just look like navy blue, but the actual fit looks extremely precise. It looks good.
It's dope.
It looks really nice. Yeah.
And after Jack said that shit last week about 27 maybe being too short, it's spot on. So they're like, however they're doing their measurement there was spot on.
Well, also, I don't know if you realized what Jack said, though. It made no sense at all. And I wish he was here to defend himself, but he was like, 28 fits absolutely perfectly. He's like, 27's up to my knee. And it's like, well, what the fuck? How is it? I don't know if you remember like what he said. Like he pretty much said the 1 inch was an obnoxious difference. Where I'm like, well, maybe you were in like the kids section for the 27. So maybe the actual inseam was off a little, where it's like, dude, that 1 inch shouldn't be that big of a difference, Jack.
I mean, that makes no sense, first of all, but second of all, that guy's all legs. He's
Really?
all legs. Yeah.
That's funny.
he's got Kareem legs. Like the guy's fucking. He's
Oh,
got
shit.
no torso on him.
You suck, Kareem. Yeah. I never fucking noticed his leg to torso ratio, but I was actually, dude, I was on that site the other day at work, and I was like looking like where I just didn't want to drop a fucking $400 because I wanted to buy everything on there.
Damn, you were gonna go and buy every color right
Dude,
away.
yeah, man. Well, no, not every color, but I wanted like a pair of the joggers. I wanted a pair of like the
Mm,
slacks, a pair of the fucking jeans. Which I mean,
yeah,
that's not 400. I'm being, I'm, hyperbolic, but like I was like, man, I want a little bit of everything. But I was like, I'm
right.
gonna wait for Bob to get his before I did anything, because
Smart.
that's just
Yep.
So
So the review is in. Shout out to our guys over at Under 510. The Fair Enough is a Short Kings podcast, and we really appreciate you guys.
yeah,
We'll reach out. Maybe we included them in the
the post.
our Instagram post this week. No comment
Yeah.
from Under 510. We are waiting. We are waiting
Maybe
for
we
them
gotta
to
give
approach
them.
us.
Maybe we got to give them like a universal follow as the podcast. Like all of us have to go follow and comment.
Yep.
Like, blah, 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 like,
Hey, yeah, Fair Enough
hey.
family. We'll do whatever you want for free.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What do you got going on TikTok that you wanted to talk about?
So I went down. I ran into one of the more polarizing genres of video, or like just like not necessarily genre, but like this page, and it's called Bums and Drones. Bums and drones, all one word. Bums and drones.
Okay.
And it's this guy who takes his drone and just essentially goes bum watching with it, and then posts it on there, and he
Follows
kinda,
homeless people around?
yes, and he kind of fucks with them and like kind of gets close to them, and then
No.
like so the first video I saw, he puts music behind it, so you can't hear what the actual people are saying, because I think that would probably be hilarious, but I'm sure.
Yeah, how does he not do
uh,
that? We need some commentary.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, hopefully he starts posting it, but maybe there's rules and regulations behind it. I don't know. But so at first, the first thing was like this dude trying to fight the drone. I'm like, this is funny. Like it's funny. He's trying to fight the drone. He's kind of like, it's almost like he's talking to a person, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I click on it. So I'm like, let's see what else this guy has. I was thinking maybe there'd be like a part 2 where he actually gets a hold of the drone or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I started scrolling through, and like there's not that many videos on there, but there was probably like 20 of them maybe. I watched literally every single one of them. And like a third of them or so, it was like he go fuck with them, and then like all of a sudden he comes back and he's got like a Happy Meal connected to the drone, and he drops it and like gives them food. And then you see him open, the one guy open it up, and like it's like a burger, nugs, fries, and then the dude pulls out like a stack of money. So like he's fucking with these people, but also it seems like he's trying to be helpful.
He's helping
as
them.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
not
can't
all
go
of them.
full. You can't be a dick the whole time.
Well, yeah, and that was the thing. It was like so. Most of them was it just him being a dick, but then there was a couple that like were like repeat offenders that he like would come and drop money to.
Oh,
shit
that's
like
good.
that, where it's like, I don't know how I feel as a person, because it's like I'm sitting here being entertained by this, and then it's like it's fucked up, because it's like I've noticed from watching the 20 videos is that nobody likes their privacy more than homeless people, clearly, even though they're just outside.
Every doc that I've ever seen, that's true.
And it's like, so they all get so pissed off, and I guess it's I guess it's super embarrassing and shit like that for most of them, I'm sure. So like you don't want to be caught on tape or whatever, just kind of living that life. But like also you're outside, like
Yeah.
So it's like I was laughing, but also
You're
kind
in public. Like you're out there.
yeah, and it's like I was laughing, but also then I was like, man, at least he's doing a good thing. But I'm like, this is kind of fucked up. My mind went from like, I didn't know how to feel.
But you
after
watched all 20 videos.
Yes, I watched everything, every single video he has on the page. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it's entertaining, and I'm going to continue to watch. But like,
so you were in the dilemma of, am I a bad person, or is this Is this like just America would be
Yeah,
entertained by this?
exactly. Is there a silver lining because at the end of the day he is giving some, he is giving money to some of them and like feeding some of them and stuff like that where it's like
That needs to be at the end of every one of the videos. He needs to fuck with
we
them for like 45 seconds, and then the last 15 seconds he drops off a
see
McDouble.
I was thinking the same thing, but I was thinking dude, cuz I think one of them he like pulls up to he like in his car pulls up to the homeless dude that he's fucking with. And he's like, "What's going on, man?" And the homeless dude's like, "Man, this fucking thing, it keeps following me." And I'm pretty sure he's the one that's controlling it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Man, that's crazy." And he's like, "I think it's like a fucking UFO or something, like, whatever." But like where I think these people are so delusional that like if you were to pull up to them and be like, "Hey, I'm just fucking with you, like whatever, like here's somebody," like I feel like he'd be put in danger, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Where it's
There
like
every doc like I watch a lot of those weird documentaries on YouTube for whatever reason. Like I watched that one where the dude goes down into the tunnels underneath Vegas. Have you ever heard about that? There's
no, I
literally
haven't.
there's a bunch of homeless people that live in these tunnels that go underneath Vegas. Like the tunnels are for water, but there's a bunch of homeless people that live down there and it's fucking wild. And there's like territories down there, like the whole gamut. And it's all underground. Um, and then I've watched like some of the ones in Philly where they have like that zombie drug that goes around Philly right now. It's
Mhm.
like a mix of fentanyl and horse tranquilizer. It's fucking crazy. And people are like
Damn.
frozen in time. But every time, like because the guy that I watch, he goes with somebody from the city that's like a part of, trying to help the homeless in the city essentially that works for the
Uh-huh.
city. And he's always like, hey dude, like we gotta be careful around these people, or these people are nice, or like it's always, but
Yeah.
everybody pretty much wants to know why the fuck you're doing what you're doing, who the fuck you are. Like you can't just walk up on people or they'll freak
Yeah.
the fuck out.
Yeah.
So that guy with a drone, I'd imagine the homeless people are not happy at first, at least.
No, and dude, the amount of crazy middle fingers that it's
Oh
hilarious,
yeah.
dude. Like, and at one point he got up pretty close to this guy, and the dude was like like shadow boxing it,
Yeah.
and you like read his lips. He's like, "Come on, you fucking pussy, come on!" It's like, dude, you're
He
talking to a
wanted all the
fucking
smoke
yes, and it's like,
with
bro,
the
you're
robot.
like exactly, you're talking to a fucking robot, dude. Like, chill out. The drugs are so prevalent, it's crazy. Like, you can tell which ones are super fucked up and which ones aren't, man.
Right.
Um, and
I
that's
got
a
a
whole other
hypothetical for you.
that's crazy. What's that?
Would you rather say I could put you in the Midwest, you're homeless, but I give you $30 a week? Would you rather have that? Or would you rather have $0 a week, but you're homeless in a tropical place like Hawaii?
Does it rain a lot in Hawaii?
I don't know the answer to that.
All right, well, for the sake of the argument, let's say it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I'd rather panhandle in the trap. I mean, $30 is not enough. If you gave me like $100, I feel like I can make $30 a week either doing a flip or panhandling on the side of the road. I do something.
Yeah.
I think I can make 30 a week, if not close to, and then be in a warm spot.
Makes you think, though. Because it's, oh,
Yeah.
man, like a winter in Chicago as a
Yeah,
homeless person.
brutal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
it's
do you do?
crazy. And you know what's crazy is that I wonder if there's statistics on like homeless people dying during the winter because there's got to be
Mm-hmm.
like, but the things you don't just walk down the street and see dead homeless people though. So it's like there's
Right.
got to be some statistic or another that like people are freezing to death or dying of certain you know things caused by the winter, and it's fucked up because obviously you don't see that on the TV or you don't see
No,
that in
you
the
never
news.
hear about it.
But they have to, right? Like
Oh,
these
it has to
people have
happen.
lived the worst lives, and there's no way they're just making it happen
Right.
year in, year out. So they are fucking resourceful, though. I will say so myself. They'll find any bit of shelter they could and make a bed out of anything.
But being in Hawaii, you could just pass out on the beach every day.
Oh, well, that's
It's
what I'm
always
saying. That's what I'm saying. I think I would rather definitely do that and then fucking figure it out. You can even, if you really wanted to get crazy, being in a place like Hawaii, you can even catch your own fucking food if you can like fly
That would
fishing, something like
that
that.
would be the play because if we are keeping it on Hawaii, Hawaii's expensive as fuck for everything. It's like
Yeah,
as a homeless there, you got to make even more.
yeah. See, I don't think about the fucking economical status of the
Yeah,
state either.
dude. You got to think about the GDP and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like you can't just be going in thinking a gallon of milk's $2. It's
Yeah.
$5 over there.
Where it's
You'd have to
it
be
would.
you'd have to be like Charlie where he makes the protein balls. He's like, I just need
Yeah.
eggs, flour, milk.
I wonder then, would it make more sense then to be like a homeless person in like fucking Kansas or something? You know what I mean? Where it's
Mhm.
like it's probably warm, but it's probably cheaper. Or
It's
maybe
warm
like I mean,
enough.
maybe more like a Memphis or a Nashville.
What about Florida?
Okay. Yeah, I guess. But isn't Florida
Same
isn't
shit.
Florida expensive or no?
No,
I
Florida's
don't
the
know.
same shit. Miami's expensive. Like, don't live in
See,
like Miami's pretty much it though.
yeah, you're right. But also
Tampa
Florida's
and
got
that
like
shit's the same.
alligators and shit, dude.
Oh, that would suck.
You know?
You're not
I mean, I guess
necessarily worried about hurricanes because you don't have a home anyway, but if you're sleeping on the beach and a gator comes and gets you,
yeah.
that's a bad day.
But I also guess you're probably not at that point. You're not homeless in like the Everglades or something where there's a bunch of fucking snakes and alligators and stuff.
Do you think more people freeze to death in a city like in the Midwest, or do you think more people are eaten by gators in a city in Florida as far as homeless people go?
So I bet you there's more attacks in Florida, but more deaths in the Midwest
In
type
the
of thing.
city?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's funny you say that. I'm sorry, one of the homeless people had a nub, and the caption literally was like, "Oh, coming to drop old Nubby a fucking care package day." And he was like,
No, and he got by a gator.
I don't know. I mean, I think they were in Colorado, so
Oh.
it probably was like some sort of frostbite or I got a wicked bad
Yeah.
frostbite, the scouts or something like that. But
It's been a
yeah,
gator that traveled that really wanted it.
yeah, or it was just a bad trip to the zoo. I'm not
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
You know?
And everything was downhill from there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened today, but I come across that, and then every other video. I think I watched like one video of like a big cat like attacking a gazelle, and now I'm getting a bunch of like wildlife murders. And like I
Oh,
don't mind.
dude.
I
I
don't
get a
like
lot of those
watching the
too.
process. Really,
Yeah, I get a lot of those too, and I don't know why because I don't like that either.
I like watching them like in their natural. I don't like the predatory part of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to go see this thing kill things. Like I don't mind watching them fucking be themselves. It's kind of cute, like hey, like,
Right.
fuck it, they're just big cats. But like, yeah, I don't need to see this thing murking a giraffe. Like it's kind of fucked up.
No, I saw 2 tigers fighting this morning.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I don't need that.
TikTok is on one, dude. They're just trying to put the fucking wildlife into our system. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm cool with like I said, there's nothing like getting baked, throwing on life on our planet, some David Attenborough, let that voice
Yeah.
sink into you, and watch a couple of seals go and try to find some food.
Yeah,
all about it.
like I don't either. Yeah, but but I don't. That's another video I saw today was a bunch of orcas fucking getting after dolphins and seals.
Oh, dude, I saw that one when they're sending them up in the air. That shit's fucking crazy.
Insane, dude. Just toying with them, and it's like I don't really need to see that though, bro.
Nope.
Like
I want to see them separately. I want to see them going together. I want to see both the
Yeah.
orcas and the dolphins getting along, just having a good
Yeah.
time out in the ocean.
I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Makes me
Speaking of people not getting along,
what's that? Who's that?
some of the people of Detroit and some of the people in the media are not getting along with the way that Dan Campbell handled the end of the Lions game. So let's do this one first. Let's do NFC first, and then we'll go on to AFC.
What do you mean the way he handled the end of the game?
People don't like the 4th down calls, which it kind of is what it is. And the numbers there are 4th and 3. Lions were 18 of 21 this year. 4th and 3 or less.
Okay.
That's basically tush push numbers. Like, that's
Yeah.
a fucking, you're running at an 80% clip. I think
Yeah.
going for it at that point is pretty justified. And I'm defending him all the way because there's a million other reasons that we lost that game. I mean, the first 4th and 2, the one that Josh Reynolds it hit him right in the hands. Like, play call was right.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds is a guy that up to week 6 this year, he had only caught first downs. He had never caught anything that wasn't a first down. It was a wild pace that he was on. And then we started utilizing him more. But this is a guy that we're throwing the ball to him because he's reliable. The guy mostly catches first downs and touchdowns. Like, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that in the group the other day, like a Josh Reynolds touchdown it was sexy going into this week. So is that one, and then the end of the game is the decision that I don't really understand that he did, the running the ball when we had to keep all 3 timeouts. That one, that was a total fuck up on his part. Like, you can't run the ball there. You got to keep the ball in the air to keep the clock stopped, because then we burn that timeout and then we have to get the onside kick. Yeah. That's fucking brutal, because the onside kick is one of the dumbest things in football, by the way. Should be like made easier or taken out of the game completely, because it never works anymore.
Yeah, but you know what? No, I disagree with you on that. I don't want to get too far into the onside kick, but it's like an onside kick, it is absolutely life or death. It shouldn't be a 50% clip. Granted, 3 for 43 or whatever it is this year, maybe not that low. You know, what they need to do is put it back where you can have it's because they're split now. It's 5 and 5 where you can offset it. Put it back to that. We'd probably see 5 more a year, and you'd be sitting at a 8% clip. Everyone would be happy.
Right. Yeah. Why did they do that? A safety thing, I'm assuming.
It's all safety. It was all protection shit, because people were getting blown the fuck up. The blockers, or the people.
That's the point of the play.
I agree 100%. Where it's like, okay, but
they're only running 10 yards, so it's not like they have this giant like running head start.
Yeah, I don't think they should make it easier. I guess I do, but it shouldn't be like just make it where you can offset the players again. That's all. Mm-hmm. Just so then there's a fucking fighting chance, and it doesn't have to come down to my guy, the receiving team bobbled the ball. That's the only way you can get it. Receiving team bobbles the ball. There's never a perfect onside kick where the receiving team isn't going to get their hands on it first, with the way that the formation is.
Right.
But anyways, back to what you were saying. Where are we at on this? You're saying
just MC. I mean, how do you feel about Dan Campbell and like going for it, not going for it? What side were you on?
So, can I just start with the run play first, just because it just seems like such a no-brain conversation that we don't really even have. I understand the success rate of what he did. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, we run the ball so well. I mean, they already had 3 rushing touchdowns. They have a shitload of rushing on the year, 2 yards. Crazy to do. The only way that I would have done the other way is if they were going to run the ball. There's 1 minute and 7 seconds left or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then if they don't get it, they're going to sprint the fucking field goal team on, kick the field goal, have about 40 seconds, 3 timeouts. You got to stop and get a touchdown. Yep. Because if you run the ball, don't waste a timeout, and you don't get the fucking the touchdown on the next play, obviously game is just completely over. You know what I mean? Like I think that would have been the only way to do that.
You had to have a backup plan. The backup plan being a timeout was never an option, and I don't know why they took that.
I don't either. And you know what? If the thing is too is if they were willing to burn a timeout at all, I don't know why they didn't just run the ball on first down.
Yep.
You know, save a couple of seconds. And it's like, at that point, the first down play, you're definitely not expecting to run. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
So that's where it's like, if you were willing to burn that, fuck it. Why didn't you just go for that? Your bread and butter on the first play. I think there was a panic. I think that they thought they were going to get in, and I think Dan Campbell didn't really think he needed a backup, and he was like, oh, fuck. It's either I waste 35 seconds or we just burn this time out and hopefully we get the onside. I don't know. I think I honestly would have just kept it. I would have kept it in my pocket and burned the time.
Same.
Because because then you don't have to get the onside kick. At least you have one play. You know what I mean? Like if you stop them, you have at least one play where it's like if you don't get the onside, you have
Mhm.
0 plays.
Right.
So I think everyone's kind of in agreement, and then I think Dan Campbell would probably even come out and say, "Hey, you know what? This was, you know, I'm sure he would have some sort of justification, but it would be more like
That one's
there'd be a
on
good,
me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The fourth downs, I understand exactly what you're saying and what everyone else and what he said in the presser, like, hey, we've been, this is us, this is what we do. I think in the situation where you're up 2 scores, you're up 14 points,
Mhm.
right? They just got a field goal.
Mhm.
You go down to put your team back up 3 scores, to me, is more important than potentially scoring a touchdown.
Mhm.
That's and also then in the second one, so in okay, say you don't do that, you don't get that when you're still up 2 scores. Okay. They come down, they score a touchdown, right? Then they get the fumble,
Yep.
let up a touchdown, right? Is that what happened?
Yep.
It was all back to back to back, or was it touchdown, fumble, stop, touchdown?
No, they scored off the fumble.
Okay.
That was 7.
Okay. So to me, then, okay, you're come back down. If
But
you
we were
get the
down.
fourth
We
down,
were up 14 at that first fourth down.
the first fourth down, yes.
Yeah.
And then the second fourth down, it was tied then? Or were they still up 7?
We might be getting it backwards.
No, we have the first one right, 100%. But it's either they were tied at the second one or they were still up 7 at the second one.
I believe the second one the second one would have tied the game
Oh, they were
because
losing. Yes,
because
yes.
then they went down and scored a touchdown. It was a 10-point game, and that's when we scored that touchdown to make it 34-31, and then we just couldn't get the ball back.
Okay. All right. So, okay, and either way, I would have kicked the field goal on this. The reason
'Cause
being is because, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah.
I'm getting this back. So the reason being is that, dude, like you're away, you had all the momentum wherever, but new half, they've just scored 10 points, whatever, 14, whatever the fuck it was, whatever.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, just to cut the momentum, if you don't get this, the game is over because now the crowd is unreal in it. The whole Niners fucking squad is in it. Fucking this, that, and the other thing. Like they are fucking on you now. But if you
Yep.
just you kick this field goal, you put 3 points up, at least it moves it back a little bit and says, hey guys, we're still winning. We're still in the driver's seat here.
Yep.
Like fuck you. And instead, like, and it's like I get it if you. My thing is just you aren't guaranteed to get a touchdown even if you pick that up. And I know they don't necessarily have a shitload of faith in their kicking game, but it's like it was only like a 48-yard field goal. It's like just kick the goddamn field goal, take the points, get a little bit of momentum back on your side, and then the next drive you have, yeah, go back to your bread and butter fourth downs. I just thought you had to cut that shit a little bit in order to at least take a little bit of momentum back. And that's the only reason I would have gone kicked the field goal. Not because it makes sense, not whatever, not because it's not you, but only just because of how much momentum the Niners were gaining at the time.
Yep.
You know?
And the Niners said that after, like some of the players said that after the game, they were like, once the momentum was just on our side and it wasn't going to stop. Momentum's a real thing. Everybody watching
1000%.
the game felt it.
Yeah,
And I can
especially when
guarantee you the
you're
players felt it.
yeah, especially in San Fran too. Like because you know that they were dead. Like that crowd was dead. And
Dead.
then all of a sudden it was a 7-point game or whatever, and it's like, oh hey, we got a legit chance. Where it's like now the fucking San Fran faithful, even Evan was talking, like he was at the game, he's talking shit. He's like, dude, these fans suck. Like
Mm-hmm.
you give them a little bit of hope though, and
Yep.
then that bitch was roaring.
Yep. It was,
But
I mean, it was, to me, it was, you could feel the momentum turning when, obviously that first third down, Josh Reynolds dropping it. It's like, all right, well, fuck, we're still in this game. We're going to be all right. And then after that was the Ayuk catch off of
yep,
Vildor's face, which was
yep.
insane. The fumble from Jahmyr, the guy never fumbles the football. It was like a play that he thought was going one way. Goff thought it was going
Yeah,
another
it was
way. Like
miscommunication for
miscommunication.
sure.
Like that was momentum. Like that was the Lions being rattled, not executing simple things, and that's
Yeah.
really what the game boiled down to. Like Josh Reynolds missed that the one that
I,
literally hit him in the chest on
I
3rd
was
and
gonna
10 to
say,
continue
yeah.
the
I mean,
drive.
dude, I'm on rock. Dropped 2 balls. I'm pretty
Dude,
sure. Like
a
it's
guy
like,
that never drops the football.
yeah. I mean, there was some stuff. I mean,
It was just things happening in the second half that don't happen to this team or didn't happen all year. And I think that's, out alongside Ben Johnson coming back, that's fucking massive. But that failure in that game and the way that they failed, I think is going to galvanize them for next year. Like now they know, like, you can't fucking make mistakes in the NFC Championship game. You can't.
mhm.
Not simple ones.
I don't mean to, and I'm no expert by any means, but I said it last week. They've played one half of football 3 weeks in a row.
You called. I was thinking that as it was happening, I was like, Michael was all over this because you
It's
said it.
like, it's insane, dude. Because it's like,
But-
they only had to play a decent second half, and just not a bad second half.
Yep.
And they
The Lions in third quarters this year was
that's
the
crazy.
craziest thing in the world to me. Like, I don't know what it was between like Ben Johnson and that offense just could not get going, and then the defense would absolutely epically collapse in every third quarter this year.
Yeah, I
It
you know, I
happened in the Bears
also,
game, happened in the Saints game, happened in a million different games.
it's weird. Like, I don't know that. I think it sucks too because like they're. I mean, I don't really give a fuck, obviously, but it sucks like as a Lions fan and just as a team, like they were playing so like you saw them, you saw what's sticking to the script, and I think I'm starting to understand a little bit of the Ben Johnson shit talk a little bit about not running the ball. I get that there was so much that happened in the third quarter where like the play calls were right. There was just a drop, a fumble, a this, or that, and like I get
Right.
that. I mean, shit, they fucking. Oh no, that was still in this first half when they ran the ball on 3rd and 12. But like, they did all this shit and like it all just kind of happened so fast, and they kind of had to like get away from the run a little bit. But it's
Yep.
crazy to see like what sticking to the script does to a defense. The way that the Niners were like, "Hey, dude, we're down 17. We don't give a fuck. We're gonna take our shots, but we're still handing 23 the ball, and
Yep.
he's gonna wear them the fuck down. Purdy's gonna be able to start getting out of the pocket, making shit
Yep.
happen with his legs, and you're like, that's all stemmed on just big guys leaning on you because." And a running back that can obviously find 4 or 5 yards in a 2-yard run, but like
Yep.
it's crazy that where you think, man, maybe if the fucking Lions just kept pounding the ball like all the game, like does something change? But who knows? You know what I mean? You can say this about anything. Hey, what if this guy catches one ball? What if this guy doesn't run to the left instead of the right? Like, but it's just wild.
Yeah. It's exciting because next we're not losing anybody next year. We're only going to gain pieces. The locker room afterwards and the locker room this week has kind of had a feeling a lot like Michigan did over the last few years, where like everybody in the locker room will be back. Job's not done. It's Super Bowl or bust. Like that's what we care about. That's what we know can happen for this team.
Is there anything as a fan right now, anybody on the team that you're like, yeah, this guy's a good player, but he's not a good fit? Or like, because I know like the way CJ Carter Johnson's talking all this shit, then he kind of shit the bed, and it's like, is there anybody on the team that you'd be like, dude, I wouldn't be mad if we actually got rid of him, regardless of his skill, just for the
CJ
sheer fact?
CJ for sure. The guy was hurt all year. That's kind of been his thing. Like he's not available all the time, whether it was in New Orleans or Philly.
Yeah.
So him not being available sucked. When he came back, he had one of the worst PFF grades in that NFC Championship game. Guy was just fucking useless out there, like missing tackles. Cam Sutton's another guy. I think Cam Sutton would do a lot better under a CB2 rather than being the CB1.
Okay.
So I'm hoping they can go out and get a guy like Snead. I'd love to have a guy. I threw it out to you in the group chat the other day, like Jalen Johnson, but the
I,
Bears ain't letting his
I
ass go.
there's to me, I just can't see it. I could be
Hmm.
wrong. We don't have to pay anybody but DJ Moore on the offensive side this year. Like I just don't see them not trying to lock that dude up. We already let
Right.
fucking what's his name go a couple years ago. I can't think of his name. Fuller, like where he was
Hmm.
one of the top 6 corners in the league, like just purely as a defender. Let that guy go. Like I don't see that happening again. But you never know. Money talks, man. But I think the Bears are in the same spot. Not even close to the Lions actually, but like where like these guys want to be here. They want this to be
Yep.
their team. They want to get it done. So I could like I don't see Jalen Johnson not being on the Bears next year. I also don't
Yeah.
see Snead not being on the fucking KC Chiefs. That man, he's if there is an award for best cornerback for our season, he should be it.
Yeah. He's
He
sick.
dude, his numbers are nuts. I think he's let up 40 plus yards like once this year. He lets up that big play, gets fucking stepped over, and then hey, 2 plays later, suck my dick, pretty much wins the game for KC. Like
Yep.
that dude is a dog of a cornerback, and it's how do you let that guy go? You pay Chris Jones or do you fucking pay him? I don't know.
Let's get into that.
Maybe
Let's
both.
transition right into that game because that game was. It was at the beginning. It just looked like all right. The Ravens defense is going to take this game over, and that's going to be it. And it just never happened. They were swarming and they were sick, but the Ravens offense for whatever reason just could not do anything. And yeah, dude, the Zay Flowers, holy shit! I wanted to punch that guy in the face so bad. It's like I understand that taunting would be sick in the NFL, and I hope that someday we can get to it. We'll never get there, but if we got to a point where we could allow taunting, it'd be dope. But you know the rule. You're gonna get
Yeah,
flagged on that every single time.
yeah. No, yeah, you can't. That's the thing. You can do the flex. You can't step over them and flex on them at the same time. Simple.
Can't do it.
Um, you, so my high school baseball coach, we used to have these camps every year, and there would always be a quote on the back of the thing, and it says, "Nobody likes a player that'll drive in 2 runs 1 inning, but let up 3 runs the next inning." Meaning, like,
Yep.
if you can't play defense, I don't give a fuck how good of a hitter you are.
Yep.
And Zay Flower, and I literally that's all I can think of. Dude scores the first touchdown.
Hmm.
Dude gets him down there. Then he gets another under route, gets him down to the 2 yard line, but fumbles the ball. It's like you did so many things well, flashy things. But when it
Yep.
came to just protecting the football, not being stupid, and just being a good player, you fucked up in the absolute worst ways. Where it's like, yes, you're the reason why they're even in the position they are right there, but you're the only reason that you guys didn't score fucking points. And it's like, I know you're a rookie, but fuck, that's tough, man.
So tough.
But I also think that I think Lamar was holding on to the ball too long, not being decisive at all. He was not getting the ball out where it needed to. And then
No, some of those scrambles where the one where he got sacked and held onto the ball and was running way the fuck back, everybody was like screaming
it's
at
like
the TV, like,
throw,
"What are you doing, dude?"
like my thing was like, dude, you just rushed for 100 yards last week.
Yeah.
Just go, dude.
Yep.
KC is like the worst team against the fucking running quarterbacks.
Yep.
Josh Allen just ran for 80 on him. Like, just go. Stop trying to be a hero. You are Lamar Jackson MVP. Sometimes you gotta swallow your pride, and you're a running back today. If they're gonna give it to you, fucking, you're gonna outrun the spy 90% of the time.
And a lot of the time, it's like that's the stigma. It's like, all right, Lamar, like you're taking off too quick. Like we need you to sit in the pocket and wait for something to
Yeah.
develop. Like that's a lot of the stigma, especially when guys are coming out of college. That's a thing that they
Oh
say.
yeah,
Like,
for
oh,
sure.
this guy just escapes too quickly. He doesn't let the routes progress. But in this
Mhm.
case, they're the
You're holding.
worst. They're the
Yeah.
worst at like literally protecting against the quarterback run.
Yeah.
This is your time to shine. This
Exactly.
is it.
And you're waiting too long to throw the ball, and like there needs to be that
Oh,
clock in your head where it's like, just go, dude. Like
yep.
you're fucking up. Like it there's no reason he got sacked a couple times. I don't know how many ended up being at the end of the game, but it's like, dude, all of them were coverage sacks, like for the most part, except the strip
Hmm.
sack. And even the strip sack, they broke down the tape, and it was like it's a 3 step drop. The ball needs to be out, and even
Hmm.
that one technically he waited too long. But like those other ones, it's like he's moving around. It's like just go. Um,
Chris
Boring
Jones,
fucking
though,
game though. Oh yeah, stud.
problem.
Probable
The fact
problem.
that guy is a UFA,
Yeah,
he's gonna go get a fucking bag somewhere.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's gonna. It'd be. I know that the money talks so much in all these pro leagues, but it would surprise me if anyone on that fucking KC team wouldn't
Left.
be willing to take a little bit of a pay cut to stay. I mean, dude, as long as Andy Reid and Mahomes are together, I mean, clearly, because I mean, Mahomes is in the AFC Championship every single year, confirmed. He has been at least. It's like, dude, you always have a chance. You go to the Jets, or you go to one of these teams that are kind of like on the up and up, but aren't there yet. You don't know
Yep.
if you're ever even getting back to that game, let alone the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. I what's a couple $1,000,000 when you're talking 100? You know.
And for all the shit that we talked about, Travis Kelce and Patty Mahomes, holy shit, did those guys ever show up and literally just dominated the game. People on Twitter were like, that first drive that they scored on, that looked like Brady and Gronk, like just slinging it with ease.
It looked like fucking Mahomes and Kelce of the last 7-8 years, you know.
Exactly.
I definitely, he stepped the fucked up Kelce the last 2 games.
Is this Mahomes' best effort ever if he wins the Super Bowl with this team?
No, I think last year was.
I think last year,
because this was Tyreek leaves. They you just didn't know what was he still threw for fucking 5,000. Like his numbers were better last year. His record in the regular season was better last year. His team was the same, if not probably worse. I would assume. I mean, like Juju wasn't
defense
like,
was
good.
Worse.
Exactly. I was gonna say defense was worse. But like I mean, like Juju.
This is the best defense
better.
he's ever had.
Exactly. Well, that was my point. Is that his offense was pretty much the same, maybe even a little bit better last year. Run game was probably a little better this year because Pacheco's really coming into like a legit ass back. But but yeah, the defense is just so good. I mean, what the defense has let up what fucking 40 points this fucking in the playoffs in 3 games. 24, 10, and fucking 7 against the fucking
7, 24, and 10. Yep, you nailed it.
It's like
41 points. That's
you know what I mean? Against, I mean, granted, it was in a fucking ice ball, but against fucking Tua and the 70-point fucking Dolphins, the Bills, and then the Ravens, who were scoring 30 fucking 4 points a game.
Cannot argue the road that they took. Cannot argue it.
Absolutely.
Dolphins, an offensive juggernaut, going to Orchard Park where Josh Allen was finally supposed to get it done, and then going to Baltimore. That's a crazy run.
Against the number 1 scoring defense, whatever. Where it's like, but I don't think this is Mahomes' best effort, but as a squad, like it's up there because it wasn't as easy. Like it's not. I mean, they definitely went through it at the end of the year. They were losing, but I just think that that playoff Mahomes, it's just like Brady. Like when Brady gets into the playoffs, you're just like, okay, you just never fucking know. Like they're gonna, he's gonna get somewhere, So
I bet against him, and I'm not gonna do that again,
dude. I didn't bet the line. I would have definitely bet KC. Lamar's rushing fucked me, but there was no chance I was betting. I was betting against KC. There's no way.
We'll talk more about the Super Bowl next week, but flip side of the coin. Lamar, does Lamar get back? Like, is this team going to be right back here in the AFC Championship next year? Like, do you put a lot of this on Lamar? Like, where do you kind of stand? I mean, you have to kind of put a lot of it on Lamar. They scored 10 fucking points in the game, and the defense only let up 17. You should be able to win when your defense is only letting up 17.
I don't think this says that much about Lamar. I definitely think it may have gotten him a little bit. I think overall as a season, though, this dude is going to win MVP with his main target was out half the year. His other main target's a rookie. He has literally no one else he's throwing a ball to. He's making it happen. Every single running back he's ever had in his career dies.
You do not want to be his running back. You just don't.
Know what I mean? Like Gus Edwards was like on the practice squad 2 years ago, and then all of a sudden he's the starting running back for the best team in the league. So it's like,
Yep.
uh, I I don't know if the playoffs are too much pressure. It's hard for me to say that when I know the Texans are not like phenomenal, but they just went and beat the fuck out of the Texans the week previous. I think you got to get there, and it's just like the Lions. It's like you got there, you saw it, you tasted it. You lost to a team that's been there quite a bit over the last couple of years,
Yep.
and they know how to win there. They got the coach that can do it. Not saying that Jim Harbaugh, I mean, he's a Super Bowl winner, but like I think now Lamar is like, okay, this was a whole different animal type of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
can see him being back and without missing a beat, especially if they get a couple more weapons, and the defense kind of sticks around. You know, I don't see it changing that much. If Lamar fucks off again in the play, like if he gets to the AFC Championship and loses again, then I'm on the Lamar's out train.
Yeah.
Lamar was just a big old bag of waste of money. But I think that they still have a window, just like the Lions do. I think they're in the same exact boat as the Lions, to be honest.
I think so too. From what I understand, nobody's leaving. I saw that that guy that they have up the middle, that D tackle, that Udabuke or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that guy's name
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
He's sick, and
He
he's a
is sick.
UFA, but that might be a guy that, like you said, just about Chris Jones and these other guys might be worth taking a pay cut to stay on a championship caliber team
Yeah,
if he doesn't get a call from another one.
yeah,
Lions would love to have that guy.
yeah. Yeah, I think the window's still open,
For
and
sure.
the Chiefs technically, you would think, with age and time, can only get worse because their best offensive players are getting older. Not that Mahomes is slowing down, but like Kelsey's talking about retiring, like shit like that, where it's like, maybe they lose another, like one more guy that's the straw that breaks the camel's back of that KC offense, and then your door's open. You know what I mean? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know yet though. So,
Yep.
but I will
Well,
say he shit the bed. I do think a lot of that game was on him. That was your actual question. I don't think he's done as a whole as a career, but that game, 98% on Lamar. I mean, just his decision making was just poor. I mean, the
horrible.
throws, whatever, miss a throw here and there. Everyone does that, but
Yep.
when you're just not on time, you're gonna lose in the NFL most of the time against good teams.
Yep. Last couple things here, and
Also,
like I
before
said,
we get off of football, I'm sorry.
oh yeah,
I think that they should make taunting a 5-yard penalty.
I like
Make it
that.
just make it a delay of game. Just make it a delay of game. That's it.
Yeah.
Boom. There shouldn't, unless you're screaming obscenities like crazy shit. Have
Mhm.
there be levels to it though, like a flagrant foul and a fucking normal. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah,
flagrant
make it
one and a
a
flagrant
personal
two.
and yeah,
You know what I mean?
because
And where it's like if you're just flexing on a guy or stepping over him, 5 yards delay of game. You fuck off.
yep.
If you're fucking in his grill, you're either hitting him or you're fucking, you're making gestures that are inappropriate, something crazy. All right, that's 15. If you're calling him fucking slurs or even just talking crazy shit, all right,
Mm,
15. But like just the
yeah.
normal like flex, like
Anything,
dumb
any
shit.
physical shit like
Yeah,
pushing or throwing, like
yeah,
because even Zay Flowers fucking push Snead to the ground after he
yeah.
got up.
Yes,
That
yeah.
was
He
the
like got a
crazy. I was like, "What are
yeah.
you doing, dude?"
Where it's like that, like that would probably fall under the category of hey, you went too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, but
you're right.
it's
There should
yeah,
be levels because the coaches are going to be just as pissed if it's 5 or 15. I can promise you that.
100%. Yeah,
So
what the fuck? But it's like 15 yards is just so much for some very stupid small taunts that you're like, come on, dude.
maybe inappropriately changes the game, the outcome of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. Um, oh, we did want to touch on this last week, but we didn't get
What
the
was that?
chance to. Let's touch real quick. We could do this before we get out of here instead of my other shit. But your
Both.
thoughts on the coaches taking interviews during like their playoff run?
Oh yeah, I think that's insane. Personally,
I do
like
too.
I I think there should be a free agency for like opening up a free agency for coaches just as much as there are for players. Like, of course, the best coordinators are going to be on the teams that are usually still in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
They
I
got a
don't.
job to do.
I just don't understand why it's necessary. Like, what's 3 weeks?
Yeah,
You're
and
not
that's if
in the facility anyway.
yeah, and that's if they win the Super Bowl. It could only be one more week. Like it could just
Right.
be one more week, but it's like, yeah, they're not there. Like, what are we doing?
That
I,
blows my mind. Especially
yeah,
this year because obviously Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are 2 like very hot names in the head coaching. So like, I'm getting alerts every day or seeing the beat writers tweeting like, "Yep, Aaron Glenn was on a Zoom for an hour today with the Washington Commanders." It's like, fuck,
yeah,
like this guy's in the facility doing shit for another team. Like that sucks.
yeah, and that shit gets back to the players and everybody else involved with the team
For
that they're
sure.
currently on. And it's like, not that it's going to fuck up that much, but like, dude, that's gotta fucking weigh a little bit on you as a team, as a coach, as a player. Like, hey, this is my guy. He's over here talking. It's like a dude fucking talking to another chick on Instagram while you're still dating her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey man, like at least break up with me first, like let's get the job done first before you're going to, fuck other girls type of thing.
Right. 100%. I just,
Yeah.
I don't understand why. And it's not even really talked about. It's just universally accepted that, yep,
Yeah.
coaches just interview and that's just it. Like nobody even mentions that maybe it's kind of a fucked up thing, which is crazy
Yeah.
to me.
It's cuz and that's what where the business side of sports is so unfortunate. And I
Mhm.
get like loyalty is not going to pay the bills, but like the amounts of money that we're talking are just so huge where it's like, dude, fuck, man. Like the loyalty in sports is just absolutely gone and it's depressing. And then shit like that happens, But and then like then they go and lose the game, right? And then everyone's talking shit about Ben Johnson's play calling, right? Why aren't we running the ball more? Well,
Mhm.
then it's like, do you ever think like, well, he was talking to other fucking teams. Maybe his head was in the gutter a little bit. And it's like, I don't think that's the case, but that's gotta
Oh,
fucking
of course. It ran through everybody in Detroit's
that's
mind. I could promise
that's
you that.
exactly. And it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. I think it's fucking inappropriate and shitty. I think they need to make a rule on that.
It is weird. And I think the reason that people don't really shit on it is because, like, say you're watching Pat McAfee show, like, they just care about the highlight of, oh, Ben Johnson's talking to Seattle today. Like, you don't
Mhm.
even think about, like, oh, maybe that's fucked up because of like, he's with the Lions still. You just think, oh,
Yeah.
shit, Ben Johnson's talking to
Well,
Seattle today. Like, that's all you're thinking about.
1000%, especially when you're not a fan of the team. I think like
Exactly.
if you're a fan of the team, then of course you think about it a little bit, or like you're like me, where I'm in a group chat where it's all you guys are talking about is Lions football for fucking a whole month, where it's like, so I'm, and that's totally fine, but it's like I'm reading this all day and I'm thinking, I'm like, it's kind of fucked up, Like,
Yeah, it sucks.
yeah, it's fucking dumb. I don't get why there's not stuff that's put in place though, where it's like there's a free agency for players. There should be a free agency, a season end and a season beginning where, like there's got to be a time, like a threshold of time that you got to at least wait. They're
Yep.
never gonna do that, but that would be nice.
It's just crazy that there is that time period with free agency.
Yeah,
How do we have it for the players and not the coaches?
exactly. Like
Makes no sense.
it's the same shit in reality. It
Same
really is.
shit.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get out of here. But next
Why?
week,
What did you have to talk about? Give me a little bit of preview. Maybe we can run this through the fucking
no,
ringer here.
because I want to talk about this for a while, so we're gonna do
Okay.
it next week. But I'm gonna give you the
Okay.
preview right now. So what I
Okay.
want to talk about next week is I want to talk about the Chappelle special because I don't think that we've talked about that yet.
Oh,
Have you
I
watched
gotta
it?
watch it. No, you gotta send me
Perfect.
the
All right,
link. Yeah.
perfect. So we'll
All
watch
right.
it. No, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So watch the new Chappelle special.
Okay.
Watch the new. Did you watch the new Jake Johnson movie, Self Reliance,
No, I
on
actually was gonna
Hulu?
watch it today. No, I need to.
Okay,
I'm going to.
watch that one, and
Okay.
then if you got time, watch American Nightmare, that new the true crime. It's number 1 on Netflix right now. You can't if you scroll down to like the top 10, you can't miss it. It'll be
Is it a
right in your
movie or a
fucking face.
series?
It's a series, 3 episodes, 40 minutes.
Okay. All
You're
right.
gonna love it. You're gonna be hooked after
All
the
right.
first one.
All right.
So we'll talk about those 3. We'll do Gambling Corner Super Bowl like we always do. We'll get. I'm really excited about what the Natty Anthem over under is going to be. I love playing that one.
I want to talk. I've been seeing a lot of shit lately, and I want to talk about this Mandela effect thing.
Oh yeah,
too.
we got to do that too.
I want to get Jack involved. Otherwise, I would have brought it up today, and I want to talk that. So we got a nice little slate. All right, cool.
For sure.
Well,
all right. Episode 103 is going to be loaded. Thank you for listening to episode 102. We love you guys, and we will see you for Super Bowl week next week. Peace.
Bye.